Good evening and welcome to this session of the virtual coaching classes organized by the Board of Studies of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. In the last three sessions, we have been understanding or trying to appreciate provisions relating to the incorporation of company and matters incidental thereto. We've already covered substantially a lot of stuff on incorporation, formation of companies, the procedure, etc., etc. We also saw one-person company. We also saw companies which are meant for charitable objects, Section 8 companies, as we call them. And moving forward, we went into the memorandum and articles, the specific clauses of the memorandum and articles. We also discussed about the various, implications of what it is. Then we moved on to articles of association, entrenchment. Just as a summary, I thought I will tell you. This happened in the last three. In case you missed some of this, no problem. The video is available. You can download it and watch it at your convenience. Moving on, we went to name class. We saw the three doctrines of constructive notice, ultra vires, and indoor management. So constructive notice, the basic. Ultra vires protects the company against the third party. The third party should have read everything and understood. He is deemed to have read and understood. Indoor management protects the third party. It says, hey, this third party can understand and know and understand what has to be done. But then even he may know how it is to be done. But then he can't find out if it has been done or not. That would take him indoor. And therefore we said, and the negation of this, where a person cannot say, I'm not aware. In those cases, it is called persons having actual knowledge of irregularity, etc. Some of you had doubts on forgery. Logic is simple. You are a third party, but you have forged the signature. Okay, and you are giving it. Now the bank and other people are supposed to ensure that there is no forgery. It is their duty. So they cannot plead indoor management and say, hey, I don't know all these things, I cannot come indoor. Because it is the bank's jolly job to ensure that the signature of the account holder is tallying. If it is not tallying and they pass the check, they cannot be protected by indoor management, is the point. So, right? I mean, you remember you kept on making me go back and explain this point again and again. Okay, basically, any alteration of memorandum basically requires a special resolution. Alteration of articles requires a special resolution. Today, we are going to see specific issues about various clauses of the memorandum, how it is to be altered and things like that, right? So, yesterday we already saw voluntary alteration. Company wants to alter the name. What happens? I showed you some documents also. I showed you the INC 24, etc., etc. Right? One of our participants, many of you are wishing me good evening. I can see that. Mantanjali is here. Good. Welcome, madam. And others are also there. Welcome, Hitesh ji, Soumya ji, Raghavan sir. Mahadev Bharadwaj is here. Punam is here. Yogita Kunwar. Yesterday, somebody was asking me about rectification. They had a doubt. They were saying something about the institute material and all that. So now I want to clarify it once and for all. What is contained in this slide is correct. Okay. The Act was amended in 2020 with effect from 21. Thereby, see, maybe I'll just run through this again for your clarity. This section contemplates two situations. This section contemplates two situations. One sec. Just give me 1 minute. Kala, na class la irukken. Friends, you will just have to give me 1 minute. I'm very, very sorry about this. I'll be back in 1 minute. I'm extremely sorry about that. This shouldn't have happened. Something happened. My wife got locked outside the house and I had to go and open the door for her. I'm so sorry. Okay, as I was saying, this section consists of two parts, two concepts. Through inadvertence or otherwise, a company has been on the first registration or on the change of name to a new name. Inadvertence, unknowingly. See, you can't blame the ROC also. ROC is not God. He can't always know everything. Chance, okay, chalo yaar, error has happened. A company has been incorporated with a name, which in the opinion of the central government is identical with, means exact name, same name, or too nearly resembles, close resemblance. Too near. That near resemblance can be, for example, Adidas, where you know that one B is not a big change. It's like somebody is saying Adibas can easily confuse it with Adidas. And if it is written in the same way, it looks like that. Too nearly resembles. Or phonetically, they may sound the same in the ear. Though written separately, the same. When we tell it will be the same. So too nearly resembles to the name. And so as I told you, the English is not very, very elegant. I'm not very comfortable with the English. In the opinion of the central government, is identical with or too nearly resembles the name by which a company in existence has been previously registered under this act or company previous law, like 56 law or whatever. So first A point is name is resembling. There is one company with a name, you are now incorporated another company with the same name. Through error, inadvertence. How it's possible, don't ask me. It is some, hey, come on, yaar, ROC is human, huh? It has happened. That's why they use the word inadvertence. Inadvertently. See, that day in the slide, you saw the word 182. Actually, it is 180 days for OPC, one person company. So, inadvertence. Okay. To err is human. Okay. Perfection is with God alone. Okay. Good. So, this is one aspect. The second limb is another category. A company has been incorporated. There is no other company name similar or identical or too nearly. But this name of this company contains a word or some phrase which too nearly resembles or is identical with an existing trademark. See, you should know what is a trademark. Trademark is brand. See, you name it. Yeah. Just on my table, I can see the word fine name. Samsung is a brand. Okay, like that. Asus is a brand. Vaio is a brand. Sony is a brand. These are all brands. Adidas is a brand. Huh? So these brands are owned by people like companies or individuals. They are called registered proprietor. Proprietor means owner, right? That owner of that brand is constantly watching. See, his advocates, if your brand is a pretty important brand for you, you will hire an advocate. I already mentioned this, but for sake of clarity, I'm repeating it. So that advocate's job will be every day or every week, he will see the registry of trademarks and the new names of companies incorporated, names being freshly allotted. They will not only see incorporation, they will see allotment also. Even when the name is reserved, they will see it. Whether this name is being claimed, whether this mark is being claimed. Now, that owner should object or he should make an application to the central government within 3 years of incorporation of this new company. Okay. So to take that Adibas example, Munnusamy is incorporating a company called Adibas Leisure Wear Tamil Nadu Private Limited. Now, this is clearly, he is trying to fake Adidas, but Adibas. No. Now, Adidas, the owner, the registered proprietor, within 3 years of incorporation of Adibas Leisure Wear Tamil Nadu Private Limited, should immediately object. Within 3 years, they have to object. Sorry, I shouldn't have said immediately. Within 3 years, they have the time to object. Then they can make an application to the central government, and central government will examine the application, and then they will decide, yes, correct. What you're saying is correct. In the opinion of the central government, yes, it is identical or too nearly. This is another example. Okay. In either case, if it is identical or too nearly resembling the name of an existing company, A, the trademark of a registered proprietor who is applying within 3 years. See, case of trademark, central government will not bother. ROC is not bothered. Okay. Whereas trademark, the registered proprietor has to make an application. Whereas for a name, even ROC can realize it. The registrar of companies can wake up. Oh my God, this is mistake happened. He can write. Or the other company can also object. Suppose there is another company with a similar name, nearly resembling, they can object. Hey, there's a confusion between us. Especially a more successful company will object. Okay. So in fact, about 20 years ago, we had this big fight. In those days, all the jewelry companies in Tamil Nadu used to have the name Tanga Maligai. Tanga Maligai means gold palace. So they used to have that name Tanga Maligai. Tanga Maligai became some sort of a brand by itself. So one man was having Tanga Maligai and he incorporated a company. So he objected and all. Then there was a big case and finally they said Tanga Maligai cannot be a brand. Maybe you add another word to it and then say that is Tanga Maligai. So that decision was there. What I'm trying to say is this is a bigger issue. Finally, if the ROC directs, the RD directs, central government, CG means central government, RD means regional director. I'm abbreviating it for the sake of convenience. I have written it clearly in the bottom for you to understand. Okay. So the application is made within 3 years. Central government forms an opinion. In the case of Mark. Now what has happened now? In the BAR Act, for name, it is 3 months. For brand, it was originally 6 months. So, it was for A part, the complaint should be done within 3 months. For B part, in the old law, before amendment, it was 6 months. Now, amendment ke baad, it is now 3 months for registered trademark also. For both, it is now 3 months. So, once the central government directs, the central government may direct the company to change its name and the company shall change its name or new name as the case may be within a period of 3 months. This 3 months is correct. Kindly, if you have downloaded the Institute material, just make a note somewhere or remember it as 3 months. Okay. So this is to clarify my slide. One more thing I wanted to share with you, my dear friends, that is, the gentleman who raised this doubt about the Institute material may kindly confirm that he has now got clarified. Yesterday, another good friend of mine, she clarified it in the query pad itself. But still, it's my duty also to clarify. One more thing I'm going to tell you. While you see, most of you are, still in college. So, or rather, your mindset could be like a college mindset where you will not be willing to go outside of your prescribed text. See, a prescribed text is given to you and you're not willing to move out of the prescribed text. You want, why it is wrong? Like you are relying so much on that. My humble request to you as students of the professional course, you should not do that. Even Institute material is a good source. One of the best sources, I would say you should refer to it. And it is being updated frequently. This is an inadvertent error. The error that you note there is inadvertent. Okay, typo. Okay, so let's leave it. Point is different. If you have a doubt about what is right, what is wrong, the original source is there. I don't know if I shared with you, but you should go to the original source. What is the original source? The original source is the website of the Ministry of Corporate Affairs. There they have the e-book, right? Once you go to the e-book option, you will have the Companies Act. You have everything here, Competition Act. Whatever you want is here. The original act, you can go there. And there you will find, every time I do this, there's a problem. Okay, no problem. So, see, this is the act. This is the table of contents. Now, which chapter are we seeing? In the chapter 2 in your Institute material is also the chapter 2 in the BAR Act. What you are now seeing here is called BAR Act. Samajh gaya na? BAR Act. B-A-R-E-A-C-T. BAR, not Balu Bear. BAR. B-A-R-E. BAR. Means no explanation, no notes, nothing. Section will be there. Sirf section hai. Therefore, it is called a BAR Act. BAR Act is very, very important. Whether your Companies Act or Income Tax Act, GST, you should know how to read the BAR Act. Even at the intermediate level, you might escape. You can read some notes, books, blah, blah. But when you come to final, you should be able to go to the original source. You should be able to go to the original source. Therefore, I'm going to show you. Once you click on that chapter ka naam, you will find sections are also coming. Now, which section are we supposed to see here? Which section are we dealing in? Section 16, right? So go to section 16. 16, 10, 10A, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16. 16 is rectification of name. Once you click on that, automatically you'll get, this is the section, the original section. Now here, do you see, if through it, whatever I put in the slide is here. So here you can even find out what is central government here. If you click on central government, you'll get what is central government here. This is the gazette by which they have empowered central government. So they have said the regional director. This power has been delegated to the regional director. Section 16 ka power has been delegated to the regional director. I will even, section 16 ka power by this is called a notification. Okay. As early as 2014, they have delegated this power of approval of section 16, section 8, etc., to the regional director. So why I'm saying now, this is a highly interactive one-point source for authentic data. Please do not avoid using it. Do not ask why it is there in this book, that book and all. But friends, I have written a book myself for CA final exam, Snow White published book. It was very popular. It was an exam tool. People used to buy the book. If they read it, they'll get 60% in the exam. They'll clear the exam and throw the book. That is all textbook. Okay. And I used to update it. For every exam, I'll update it. I will revise the edition, and about 9 editions were published. Then I stopped revising it, and Act was changed to blah, blah. The point I'm trying to make here is textbooks are only textbooks. Okay. Whereas this is the original source. This is the government ka source. Please come here and see what you find. For A, 3 months. For B also 3 months. Now, if you click on this one, you will see substituted by the Companies Amendment Act 2020. Notification dated 28th September. See, the date of the notification is important. More important, that notification will mention from which date the amendment is effective. You know why this is important? Institute will tell you all amendments with up to a particular date is applicable to your exam. So that date is the effective date, not the notification card date. It is the effective date. So the notification will say from which date it will be effective. And that date is 1st September 2021. Okay. So 1st September 2021, it has become 3 months. 6 months for the words 6 months, the following shall be substituted. What is that? In 1B, 3 months. Therefore, it is 3 months. You might ask me, why are you wasting our time, sir, explaining all this? Why? Because, my dear friends, I am teacher. You can say, sir, you tell, I will accept it like that. Or books. You can say, sir, book, this book, that book. Finally, my dear friends, I want you to become independent of everything. You know, you should be so independent that you should not need books, you should not need guru. You should be intelligent in your own way. If I keep on giving you fish every day, you will not be hungry. But one day when I am not able to give you fish, what you will do now? Therefore, I will teach you how to fish, how to go to the original source of knowledge and satisfy. Because tomorrow, as a member of the institute, who will come and give you fish? Yeah? Who will come and tell you all these things? And if such expectation is there, you will not be a top-notch professional. So if you want to become really top-notch professionals, I want you to know how to do that. In fact, in Income Tax Act, in my office, whenever there is any issue, I will not read any book. Of course, there is one book that I respect a lot for income tax, which is written by Dr. Vinod K. Singhania. But even that book I won't touch. First, I will read the section. I will read I will go to the incometax.gov.in. My manager will bring it in our cabin, in my conference room. On the big screen, we will see the section, rule, whatever will be thrown there. Myself, the manager and the audit in charge, everybody will be sitting and we will be discussing the section, taking notes. Then, if we still have some doubt, we want clarity, then we will refer to Dr. Vinod K. Singhania. Because, see, I feel a little bit authoritative. Let us see what he says. Then if Vinod Singhania ji also has nothing to add, then what I have decided is final, because I am a chartered accountant and my opinion is important. Okay? So think like that. In future, don't worry. Even if the book you have a doubt, don't worry. You have the direct access to the barrack. You do not need Srikanth also. Okay? Ganga Malige. Ganga Malige. Tangam means gold. Swarnam, Tangam. Okay. Bangaru is in each language you have a name for gold. So the point is, because Tanga Malige is too generic. What does it mean? Gold Palace. So Gold Palace is a generic word. That's what they decided in that case. High Court, Madras High Court decision. So other people also, Ramya Tanga Malige came, other Tanga Maliges came. So Gold Palace, you see, you can't have Gold Palace. Gold Palace is too generic. So you can have X Gold Palace, Y Gold Palace. That will become a brand. So you have, like that, we have names. Okay. Anyway. Again, Himanshu Gupta, I think you are missing the point. Adidas is not a company incorporated in company law, but it is a brand registered in India. And Adidas company is the registered proprietor. The foreign company is the registered proprietor of the trademark. That is why B-Limb is not for company. It is for mark. That mark may not be owned by an Indian company, or there may be a name with that brand. Still, B will apply if you are the registered proprietor of a brand. Okay. Adidas is not incorporated in Indian company law. This for company. Yes, sir, they are not incorporated. But suppose you incorporate Adidas, he as the registered proprietor of the trademark Adidas has the right to object. How? Because obviously, because of this section, yeah. If you keep on asking like that, what I can say? This is the section 16(1)(b). Because of that, he has the right now. Why we are doing it? Because our brands are also protected in US, Baba. Our brand is protected in Europe. So his brand you should protect in India, na? Therefore, we are doing it. His lawyer will object. You and I can talk like this in the class. The lawyer of Adidas will send a big letter to that Adidas fellow. First, he will send it to the regional director. Then the regional director give an order. That is why Indian government says, why waste all that? If only you tell me, I will direct my Indian company to change the name. Okay, because we are signatories to the Unilateral Treaty for trademark protection. That is why. Have you understood, Himanshuji? If you have understood, just put a thing. Yes, sir, I have understood why. Even though Adidas is not incorporated under Indian company law, because they are the proprietor, registered proprietor of a trademark, they have the right to object. Which is why, you can't incorporate Sony. You can't incorporate company Sony Electronic Private Limited. SONY, SONI also gone. But though Sony, SONI, is a surname in North India, still it is not possible because it's too nearly resembling Sony Corporation. Okay. Yeah. Please do read that case law. I'm very happy that Madhuri Nikare is sharing a case law. Satpuda Infracon Private Limited versus Mrs. Satpura Infracon, August 24. Yeah, there are a lot of cases. You can definitely refer to such case laws. And you can, in the exam, if you want, you can quote this case law also. Okay. That is a very good question asked by Ayush Agarwal. A complaint of infringement raised by the owner of a trademark after 3 years of incorporation of such enterprise. What is the position? See, this concept now of 3 years is called period of limitation. Period of limitation. That is very important. See, the law will protect only those who are vigilant. The law will protect only those who are vigilant. If the person has been sleeping for 3 years, then suddenly he wakes up and he comes. This section will not protect him, my dear friend. Section 16 will not protect him. He cannot enjoy the benefit of Section 16. He cannot coolly go to the regional director, get an order, and the CG will direct and the change will happen. Such convenience is not available to him. What he can do, he can explore his legal remedies. Because he is the owner of a registered mark, is it? And as that owner of that mark, he has a right in rem against the whole world. So that is a civil remedy. Means he has to file a suit against this company. A civil suit. And that civil suit will be heard. And that will take its own time. That is why lawyers are there. Yeah. That is a long-winded route. There is an easy route within 3 years. Okay, so that is the correct answer. After 3 years, Section 16 not available to you. But you can try your legal remedies. The other remedies are there. You can go to court. You can ask for an injunction to the appropriate high court. All that you can do. Yeah, you can hire the best lawyers. My own son is an advocate. I refer him. Okay, he will do it. That's how lawyers are earning money, Baba. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, V.K. Singhania is, I read only V.K. Singhania for my exams. Dr. V.K. Singhania, brilliant man. Okay. Remembering sections with their topics, Prabhas Jain ji, thank you, welcome. Point is, any tips, what tips, yeah, again and again, if you read once or twice, it will become familiar, that's all. Don't try to consciously mug up. Okay, it will become, once you love the subject, it will be there. That's my only tip. Okay, don't try to consciously mug up sections. Maybe read it loud, it helps a little. Once or twice, read it. Okay, whatever it is, the amendment that the slide that I am now showing is relevant for your examination, which you will be writing in November 2022. This section is very much there. That 6 months is it's not 6 months, it is 3 months. Okay, good questions have been raised. I'm very happy. R.C. Gupta says it is necessary to learn for exam. Yeah, learn, no problem. Learn for exam only. If that's what you're trying to imply, RCG. But if you want to be a professional, then see, remember, this is not some university exam you're going to write. This is not some, stupid BCom, MCom types. Yeah. The idea is not to get a piece of paper and run away, get a job. This is for becoming a member of my institute, Baba. You're all going to become members of my institute. You're going to become professionals. So think like that. The other day I was addressing the advanced MCS batch. I was telling them, don't think like employee. Don't think like article clerk. Think like, don't think like student. Think like member. You think like member, you will automatically become member. Okay. So members will do like this. They'll go to the barrack. So once in a while, when you are having a doubt, don't hesitate to go to the mca.gov.in is all I'm trying to say. Okay. Because I'm seeing many people after qualification of CA also, they are very bookish. When they come for meetings and all as CFOs or even assistant finance managers and all, CAs, they're not able to think differently. When I ask them some question and all, they are saying, no, sir, out of syllabus like that. Nothing is out of syllabus. Once you finish your examination, become a member of my institute. I say my institute because I'm a member of the institute. So it is my institute because I am a member of this institute. So you also should become members. Think like that. At that time, what will happen? There is no syllabus after that. No cutoff time. No, sir, 6 months rule will apply. Nothing like that. You will have to know the law as it is here and now. Okay? Think like that. My humble suggestion to you, not to intimidate you or to make you feel bad, but to help you to understand the level of difficulty at which you have to now start operating. See, another point also I'll make here, even at the cost of taking 2 minutes of your valuable time, your CPT is not a measure of your intermediate. Don't compare. CPT exam was different. IPC different. So don't go by that. If you think that was meant for just ensuring that you guys are allowed to come into this compound. But getting out of this compound is a different story. Okay. Getting out of this compound is a different story. There's another gate there. 2 gates we have kept. Inside gate, okay, we'll allow everybody. But that first gate, you are not going to go through. Now, that is very difficult. Second gate, very difficult. Final exam. Okay. Not trying to frighten you. After all, I have gone through it myself. So I understand. For that, do what I say. Don't be bookish. Don't think exam. Exam is only meant to find out if you are qualified to go to the next compound. You are coming to one compound now. Now, are you ready to go to the next compound? We want to know. That's all. You think maturely, the way approaches that I'm giving you, you apply. Automatically, you will qualify for opening. That door will suddenly open. That intermediate door will suddenly open and you will be in the bigger compound. Or rather smaller compound, I should say. Final. Only very few people will be there. Then once you finish your final, that big gate will open. Then the whole wide world will be there. And no syllabus. Okay. Chala. Good. Nice. Don't go to any website. Please. Prabhas ji, no. Don't trust any website tag to blah, blah, blah. Go to the original source. MC, hey, come on. You can access it 24/7 anytime you want. Yeah. Why download all this stuff? It's like you start living in the cloud. Yeah. Don't download everything to your local memory. See, friends, I'm going to tell you something. World is changing. No more local memories. Thinnest clients. In fact, everything will be in the cloud. Start learning how to live with the cloud. Everything is accessible at a fingertip. Chuck. 1 second you can access. Why you want to download? Because some sites will be having older versions. So don't please. Now itself I'm clearly indicating I am not recommending any website, India code, Bandia code, whatever code, I don't know. No. mca.gov.in, yes. If it is I don't know what this India code is. If it is run by the government of India, chalo. If it is official, chalo. But even then I suggest go to the original source, mca.gov.in, right? Or any other authentic governmental source run by the government of India. Okay. More often than not, institute is giving you free. mca.gov.in is giving you free. But whereas all these fellows will be doing some kind of nonsense, either pushing you with advertisements or asking you to give data, all that. Okay. Yeah, Ayush Agarwal, don't tell me what to do, please. Don't tell me what to do. I will not. I generally don't encourage students to tell me what to do. Okay, I will come back. I will complete the topic. Yeah. So yesterday we saw this, so I'll keep pushing on. Rectification, the only doubt was there, and I will. Now, we move on to the provision for registered office. Okay, which is, see, we already saw, in fact, somebody raised the question, should the registered office of the company, is it not given at the time of incorporation? No need. At the time of incorporation, what is given is only the postal address, the communication address. Within 30 days, it must provide the details of the registered office. Once a company is incorporated, it is required to maintain a registered office. The registered office is a very, very important aspect of a company's, shall we say, the registered office is a very important aspect of the company, like its name. This is the place, this is the physical office where the corporation will receive service of legal documents from ROC or in case of a lawsuit, etc. Please understand, this cannot be a PO box. Unlike Singapore or US where it can be a PO box. You need not have a, shall we say, postal address with the door name, door number, street name and all. A PO box is acceptable. But in India, the registered office should be a physical location with a door number, street name, physical, where someone is present to receive service of legal documents during normal business hours. You can, in addition to the registered office, you can have head office, corporate office, etc. But all legal documents will be served only at the registered office. Also, the address of the registered office will determine the domicile. Okay, and the nationality by the place location of its registered office. So, in the case of an Indian company, which state it belongs to is based on the registered office address. See, today why they say nationality also, because an Indian company, see, there may be a company which does not have an office in India. It may have only one website, but it is incorporated in India, but doesn't have an Indian address. So, no. Within 30 days, you should give us a physical address. That address should be in one of the states of India. That will decide your domicile and nationality. You will be an Indian company with an Indian address. All legal notices will be served only at that registered office. Finally, where to file the suit is an important question. In the CPC, in the Civil Procedure Code, there is a rule. Suppose you want to file a civil suit. See, in that example I told, now if the 3 years is gone, what to do? You can file a civil suit against that Adibas, I said. In which high court will you file? Okay, or under which jurisdiction come? That is determined by domicile. Suppose Adibas is incorporated in Madhya Pradesh, then you will come under the jurisdiction of the Madhya Pradesh High Court. Okay, so that is also determined, because under CPC they say where the cause of action arises or where the defendant resides. You have to file the suit in the court having jurisdiction over the place where the cause of action arises or where the defendant resides. So defendant in this case is the guy who's the Adibas company is the defendant, right? The plaintiff, the person filing the suit will have to file it in that court where there is a defendant resides Cause of action arises in the whole of India, or wherever he published that advertisement with Adibas, cause of action arises. But you can go to Madhya Pradesh and file because defendant resides. Okay. Sometimes, as part of my lecture, I may add a few thoughts. Some of you seem to be liking it. So please do not give comment like, come back to the topic immediately and all. Allow me that freedom as a teacher to go where I want and come back. Is it okay? This is a request from me because I've been teaching for what now? 29 years now. And students have enjoyed my lectures. Not because like some faculty, I'll only talk the subject, but because I used to go around and come back. Some students even enjoy that. So after all, it should become interesting also. And I'm not telling something which is wrong. Okay. So it's humble request to you as your teacher. I'm telling this. Students should not control what the teacher should do. Not a good behavior also. Okay. Yeah. If this attitude, if it is there, later on it will be a problem. So don't have that putting messages like that. Okay. A company shall, now comes the important point, section 12. Within 30 days of incorporation, the company shall and at all times thereafter have a registered office capable of receiving and acknowledging all communications and notices as may be addressed to it. So they are giving 30 days time. Why? Because even before the company is incorporated, how I can hire a place? So you can't put the cart before the horse. So they say, let the artificial person come into existence. Then you can, this used to be a big problem because they will say registered office address should be given along with incorporation in those days. Now, how will I give? Because the company does not have own building, nothing. Which address I will give and all that problem. So now they're saying within 30 days, you have a lease agreement. Or if it is an own building, company ka own building, the company's building will be acquired and give the proof of ownership, the registered sale deed or the lease agreement with the landlord, payment of EB, electricity payment, bill payment. Some proof of address is to be given while filing this INC 22. You have to give this proof. So, company shall within 30 days of incorporation and at all times thereafter, throughout, have a registered office. Purpose is to receive communications and notices officially. See, other than that, you can have a number of corporate office, blah, blah, but not this. Now, in addition to having a registered office, the company shall furnish to the registrar verification of its registered office within a period of 30 days of its incorporation. From date of incorporation, within 30 days, you have to file a form called Form INC 22. Okay, along with proof of the registered office. Like if you are the owner of the building, registered deed, sale deed. If you are leasing it, the lease agreement. Also, proof of having paid EB, electricity payments in your name, property tax, whatever. Proof has to be given, verification of the registered office. Okay. Thereafter, if the registered office is changed, every time it is changed, every change of the situation of the registered office after the date of incorporation of the company shall be given to the registrar within 30 days of the change, who shall record the same. In the slides to follow, we will be saying different kinds of register changes, different locational changes. We will discuss the procedure for it. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, if it is government operated, then still my humble request to you, go for mca.gov.in. It's more convenient. Also, it will link to the rules and all that. You can click on it and go to the rules. But if you feel India code is good, I'm happy about it. Okay. So what I said, if it is maintained by the government, chalo, no problem. Can you open 2-3 company at one time? Yeah, why not? Why not? My office address is the address for 5 companies. 5 clients are giving my address. I lease out a small place to each one of them in my building. Okay, and they have the lease agreement, and they can. So they can. A number of companies at the single register office. Why not? Tribunal is the National Company Law Tribunal, not in your syllabus. It will come in final. Tribunal, later on, I'll tell you about it when you come to, maybe, see, the hierarchy is like this, ma. You have the regional directors, no? And you have the registrar of company, regional director, and you have the central government. Now, these are all called executive. These are all called No, I'll do one thing. When I come to tribunal, more about it, I will explain what is tribunal. Okay, I'll explain what is tribunal. Okay. Mr. K, wow, that's nice. Mr. K, I think Prash K. Mr. K, that's very nice. Sir, the register office clause was already there in MOA. Then why this separate section? Did you listen to me when I spoke about registered office clause? I think you are not listening. I kept on repeating. The registered office clause will only talk about the state in which the registered office will be situated. In fact, when I spoke there at that time, I kept on shouting and, making a thing. I said, the address is not given here. The address of the registered office will be given later. That is this section 12, form INC 22. The actual postal address is not there in the memorandum in the situation clause. That is now given within 30 days in form INC 22. Situation clause only contains state, the state in which the registered office will be situated. Okay. So the registered office clause was already there in MOA. Okay. Now you got it, Rekaji, you got it. Okay, if the company is unable to give the physical address 30 days, what happens? Penalty is there, don't worry. For every offense, there is a penalty. Okay, I will show you. Pakka penalty will be there. Penalty for default in compliance with provisions. Okay, if you don't do it, penalty of 1,000 rupees. Also, you can't do it. Okay, if you violate, there is a punishment. That's all. What will happen? They will punish you. That's all. Okay, can we open 2-3 companies at one register office? Yes, you can. Can you give? Yes, thank you, Mr. K, for your support. Your name is Prash, is it? Or can you give me your name? Because K is a little bit funny for me. You can give your thoughts like JK, J Krishnamurthy, like that, your K. There is one Swami Yam is there. Yeah, thanks. Definitely, I'd like to share my thoughts. I'm 56 years old, yeah. Okay, I've been practicing for 30 years, teaching for 29 years now, corporate trainer for 25 years. Okay, so I know. Some people, they like to throw the money and ask the teacher to be like a monkey, doing the tricks. Sorry, that attitude is not good for a student. Money cannot get you knowledge. Money can get you a house. Money can get you a car. From Guru, money will not get you knowledge. Okay, don't think you can throw money and get knowledge. Guru will give in his own way. Student will take it in their own way. They will be the beneficiary. Thank you, sir. Thank you. IFSC and public-private company, IFSC public and private companies, it's important. When we come to prospectus or share capital, I will explain at that time. Okay. Similarly, postal ballot, I will explain when we come to management and administration. Right now, take it as a unknown word, postal ballot. Don't worry, I will explain. Thank you very much for your confirmation, Bharadwaji. Thank you very much. That gives me a lot of happiness. Okay. No, I never taught in any of the universities. I teach in the B schools. I teach in the business schools. At Geetham University, I used to teach. Geetham in the Visakhapatnam, Bharatiya Institute of Management, but never in any university. Thank you, sir. IFSC public and private, I will tell you more. Not today. There is no link in this topic. Later on, I will tell you. Company incorporated company law, but file register office address outside India. No. Your registered office should be a physical address in India. Okay? You cannot be outside India. You can have branch outside India. You can have a foreign branch, but the registered office should be only in India. Okay? It cannot be outside. It should be in one of the states in India. Okay? Okay, Ayush. Thank you, Agarwalji. Thank you. But of course, I also take what you say. Sometimes, I might be wasting your time. I will try my best not to do that also. K. Prashant. Thank you, Prashant. So you are Mr. Prashant. Postal ballot, we will take up in detail later. If I teach a postal ballot, no, I cannot teach this topic. Whereas when I come to management and administration, that's a separate section. See, instead of physically meeting, they will send vote by postal ballot. That's all. Okay, those votes also will be counted for the purpose of voting. They will be sending it by, as the name implies, post. Yeah, no problem. Sorry, today maybe I was a little, when Ayush Agarwal asked that question, see, this is the problem. Sometimes I get and I get this number. I don't know, even at 56, I know I am not matured enough to take it in the right spirit and, sorry. Fantastic. So, got it. Registered office should be in India. It cannot be outside India. You can have a foreign branch, but the registered office should be in India. Okay. Now, these are some mundane provisions where you have to paint or affix its name and the address of its registered office and keep the same painted or affixed on the outside of every office or place so that public can see it. It should also be engraved on its seal, if any. See, every company in those days, in the old law, every company had to have a common seal. But now it's not compulsory. A company may have a common seal, it may not have a common seal. The common seal is nothing but the signature of the company. Just like you and I will sign, the seal will be there. This was a very old custom in England and all. And that seal has to be kept in the custody of the company secretary or a director. And affixation of the seal needed to be witnessed and all that. So all that is now out. There's no need for a common seal. But for any purpose, if the company wants to have a seal, the name of the company should be engraved on that seal. Also, it has to get its name. See what all has to be given. Name, address of registered office, and corporate identity number, along with telephone number, fax number, email, website on all its business letters, bill heads, letter papers, and in all its notices and other official publications. So, name, corporate identity number, address of registered office, telephone number, fax number, if any, email, and website, if any, should be printed on business letter heads, the letterhead, bill head, invoice copy, any letter papers, anything which goes to the public, it should have all this. It should have its name printed on hundis, promissory notes, bills of exchange. What is promissory note? What is bills of exchange? You should ask, but not know. When we come to a topic called Negotiable Instruments Act, the faculty or me or whoever it is teaching will teach you what it is. Define a promissory note, define a bill of exchange. Basically, these are like financial instruments, like check and all. Okay. So the name of the company should be printed on a promissory note. Promissory note is nothing but I owe you. See, suppose I borrow 10,000 rupees from you. I take a piece of paper and I say, I, Srikanth, so-and-so, son of so-and-so, residing at so-and-so, hereby undertake to pay a sum of rupees 10,000 to your name or to his order or her order or to the bearer of the instrument on date or pay the on demand, whatever. So I can sign it. Once I sign it, it becomes a promissory note. Now that promissory note should have the name of the company. For example, if I'm a director and I'm borrowing on a hundi or a promissory note, hundi is nothing but local name, Indian name for promissory notes. It is Indian name for promissory note. In India, we don't say promissory note, we say hundi. Okay. So, point is, if I'm a director and I'm borrowing money on the basis of promissory note, if I simply sign, yes, Srikanth or Srikanth, and I take that, tomorrow I cannot come and say I have borrowed as a director of the company. Why? Because the name of the company is not on the promissory note. I will become personally liable on that. Note. Therefore, I should put for Prometheus Consulting Services Private Limited, S. Srikanth, director. Incidentally, not me. My wife, Kala Srikanth, director. She will sign. Then only company is liable. Director is not liable. But if the name of the company is not there, whoever borrowed personally, they will become liable on that instrument. Okay. So this is very interesting relating to registered office. In case the company's name has been changed, where the name of the company is changed, then during the last 2 years, it shall paint or affix or print along with its name, the former name or names so changed during the last 2 years. See, it should paint or affix its name and address. Suppose the company's name is changed for the next 2 years. For example, I have changed the name of my company Blue Dot to Prometheus, right? So for the next 2 years, from the date of that incorporation certificate, not for 2 years, in the board outside my building, we have put Prometheus Consulting Services Private Limited, formerly Blue Dot. Why? Because some people who have dealt with the old company may not be aware. They should be aware that this company had an old name. And they say for 2 years, it is enough if you keep that name. After that, you can give it. Yeah. Postal ballot, I will explain in more detail when I come to management and administration. What do you say? It so happens by the grace of God, I will be teaching it. So inshallah, when I come there, I will definitely teach postal ballot. Ch-2, just let's not go there. Is that okay? Thank you very much, Mandanjali, for that nice word of practical way. But as I told you, postal ballot, yes, actually electronic votes is also there, but I don't want to go there now. It's very detailed topic. Once I go there, now I have to teach it properly. So just leave me. Okay, I will teach you in detail when I come there. Can a residential property be termed as residential? Why not? Why not? So see, that is a residential house. But how it becomes how is the company now going to be related to it? So there should be a lease agreement between the owner of that residential house and the company. So you will become lessor and the company will become lessee. That lease agreement has to be filed along with INC 22. Okay, only then you can have the residential house. But suppose you are letting out a residential house to a company, it will become commercial use. Then your corporation will come and change the property tax. And the EB will come and change the EB. So all that will happen. But nothing wrong in having a residential house. Because today people are working from home and all. But then the company should become the lessee of a portion of that house. You will become the lessor. Then we can do it. Yeah, common seal, if it is there, is a legal authentication. It will be affixed on deeds, share certificates, sale deed, lease deed, mortgage deed, and all. It will be affixed on behalf of the company. Okay. Yeah, Mantanjali ji, you are very, very knowledgeable. I agree with you totally. But some faculty will teach negotiable instrument. Now, he will also know something about negotiable instrument. No, let him teach you. Okay. Yeah, what to do? That letterhead, when you're printing it, you will have to say, you will have to put, that will become waste. Correct. That's why don't print too many letterheads and all. Today, who wants letterhead? Yeah. Ayush Agarwal will get angry with me. But once again, I will repeat, we are moving to the cloud. Everything is digital. We are living in a paperless world. So don't bother. Don't print letterheads. Okay. Just print, say, 50 or 60 sheets, color print out and keep it with you. Anyway, in the case of a OPC, one-person company, the words one-person company shall be mentioned in brackets below the name of such company, wherever its name is printed or affixed or engraved. Okay. The registrar can always inspect the registered office. If the registrar has reasonable cause to believe that the company is not carrying on any business or operations, he may cause a physical verification of the registered office of the company in such manner as may be prescribed. And if any default is found to be made in complying with the requirements of subsection 1, that is affixation of the name and all, he may, without prejudice to the provisions of subsection 8, initiate action for the removal of the name of the company from the register of companies. See, what could happen is the company may be incorporated, not provided the register office address. Okay, that's why without prejudice to penalty. Please understand what is the meaning of without prejudice to the provisions of subsection 8. Subsection 8 is penalty, right? This is penalty. In addition to penalty. Without prejudice means in addition to, okay? Without affecting the right to punish that company, the registrar can also take action for removal of the name of the company from the register of companies because the company is not having registered office. It is not functioning. Therefore, you can say it is defunct. See, you are saying this is your registered office. I'm coming there. It is locked. There, nobody is there. What to do? I will remove your name. So he will start sending letters to the company to that address. Can I remove it? If no reply is given, the name of the company will be removed. That chapter 18, we will see it in final. When you come to final, you will be taught. Defunct company. Removal of the name of a defunct company. Okay. So, as I said, if a company does not comply with the provisions relating to registered office, there is a penalty of 1,000 rupees for every day during which default continues. From the date of incorporation, within 30 days, you should have a registered office. Suppose you have not given the information to the ROC. After the 30 days is over, from the 31st day onwards, every day, 1,000 rupees. Okay. In addition to that, every officer who is in default, like a director, company secretary, they are liable to penalty of 1,000 rupees for every day. But maximum ceiling is 1 lakh, up to 1 lakh. Okay. So this is a additional penalty for, this is a penalty for non-complying with Registrar Office provisions. Okay, quick introduction. At this stage, I will also talk about tribunal and all that because it is good to know the hierarchy. See, the registrar is called the Registrar of Companies. Whenever in the Act they use the word registrar, it could mean registrar, additional registrar, joint registrar, deputy registrar, and assistant registrar. Their job is registering the companies, keeping track, monitoring the Act and all that. They are the people who monitor whether the Act is being correctly followed by companies. But normally when we say Registrar of Companies, we mean that one man. In each state, there will be one Registrar of Companies. For every state, there will be one Registrar of Companies. No. For almost every state in India, we have one Registrar of Companies. But 2 states have 2 registrars. 2 states in India have 2 registrars. Okay. 2 registrars. Which states are having 2 registrars? This is the quiz. Anybody can answer it. Later on, we will see the answer, and if you got it right, I'm sure Mantanjali will know the answer. 2 states in India have 2 registrars of companies. And I think a few states, maybe in the Northeast, maybe all of them have a common one in Guwahati. I do not know. I may be wrong. I'm sure maybe Tripura and all may not have a registrar. They may have an office, but there may not be a registrar. I don't know. Or maybe they have. I don't know is the correct answer. Somebody from Northeast can clarify whether there is a separate ROC office in each of the 7 sisters in the Northeast. Does Tripura have one? Does Arunachal Pradesh have one? Does Meghalaya have one? I don't know. I'm not aware. I'm sure Guwahati has. But 2 states have 2 registrars. 2 states have 2 registrars. Okay. So, which are these 2 states? Yeah, Haryana and Punjab may have together one registrar, obviously, in Chandigarh. Okay, Chandigarh is a common capital for both the states. You keep on walking towards Mogali, then you will get into Haryana, right? And then you come this way, you will become in Punjab. Such a nice place. Chandigarh is a beautiful city. And I've been there only 2 times, but loved the city a lot. So Haryana and Punjab, I think there is only one registrar. But 2 states have 2 registrars. Anyway, okay. So that is why Glow and Lovely is using the name Fair and Lovely along with Glow and Lovely. Could be. Maybe yes. What do you mean by dispose of application? Dispose of means take action. To dispose something means to take some action. Whatever action. Either to accept or to reject. Disposal means to take action on the application. Okay. Good. Please ask any such doubt. I'm more than happy to explain. Someone started business in the Registrar. Yeah, correct. But then, Nehaji, you go back to Solomon and Solomon. Neha is different from the company Neha Murarka is forming now. Murarka Finance Limited. Murarka, because I know Murarka who was a big shot in Chennai in stock market. Murarka Finance or something. Murarka. So if you start like that, Neha Murarka is different from Murarka Finance, right? So that Murarka Finance company should have some link with this registered office, right? What will it be? That is not, see, this is your house. Murarka Finance has no house. Murarka Finance Private Limited has no house. So to make it some link, you will definitely enter into a lease agreement. That has to be filed with the registrar. See, these are things, Neha is asking a question that many of my clients have asked me. See, they'll come and they'll ask all these questions and I'll keep on telling them, no, madam, you should have a lease agreement with the company after incorporation, like that. Okay. Yes, correct. Let's see who got the answer correct. Beautiful. Yeah, Mahadev Bharadwaj, correct answer. Uttar Pradesh has only one. Actually, Uttar Pradesh, one, all of them have only one. Okay. Only Maharashtra and Tamil Nadu have 2. Reason, see, UP does not have that many companies, whereas Tamil Nadu and Maharashtra have many companies. It's not about geographical size. It's about density of companies. You will find only Mumbai alone has so many companies. Chennai alone has so many companies. Therefore, the rest of Tamil Nadu, you have one more registrar in Coimbatore. And for rest of Maharashtra, you have one more registrar in Pune. Okay. So, Pune, there is one registrar. Coimbatore, there is one registrar. Tamil Nadu and Maharashtra have 2 registrars. Okay. Kerala also has. I don't know this. Maharashtra has. I don't know. Maybe Kerala has one in Trivandrum and one in Kochi. Yeah, Tamil Nadu where I live and Kerala where I'm going to go on Monday. From Monday onwards, I'll be traveling in Kerala. Anyway, so coming back to the point, the registrar of companies is there for every state. But remember, he is the lowest level in the MCA hierarchy, right? Now, the Ministry of Corporate Affairs itself is the executive wing of the government of India. See, our democracy is a constitutional democracy. The constitution of this country has divided the powers of the government under 3 broad heads. One power is the legislative power, Parliament, making law. That is the power of the Parliament. Parliament makes the law. Another wing is called the executive wing, which is nothing but your secretaries, under secretaries, blah, 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 all the IAS, IRS, IFS, all these big shots. You know, they are all government officers. Okay? Arasanga Adhikarigal, they are the government people. So they represent the executive wing of the government. So how will the government act? See, the government is again an artificial concept, right? So how will the government act? Only through the secretaries, under secretaries, which is why the ministers who are elected by the people can only take the decision. But that implementation is 100% only with the executive. The minister cannot come and tell how. He will say, this is what I want, this is how it should be done for the people. Thereafter, the executive mechanism will take over and they know how to do it properly. Our executive system in the government of India is old, 150-year-old British system we are following. And very well. Indian Administrative Service, the Indian Revenue Service, they're all fantastic. So the Ministry of Corporate Affairs also comes under the executive. The law is made in Parliament. The law is implemented by the ministry. Now the problem in a democracy could be if the executive is given power, there is a chance that the power may be misused by the executive, government servant. Therefore, there should be some check balance on him, no? Therefore, the third pillar of our constitution is the judiciary, the court, with the Supreme Court at the highest level. But what happened over a period of time, Supreme Court, High Court, Magistrate Courts and all, too many litigation, what happened? High Court will become clogged with cases. So, High Court was also hearing company cases and all. It became very difficult to handle. And High Court did not have time. So, it became very costly. Therefore, Government of India decided to form what is known as Company Law Board, CLB, in those days, 1956, CLB. That CLB became a judicial authority within the framework of the Companies Act. Within the framework of the Companies Act, the Parliament created a quasi-judicial body. It is not a court, but has some of the powers of a court. So, proceedings will be like a court, but it is not having all the CPC will not apply to this body. It can form its own rules for how the business will be conducted, how it will be, how things will be done and all. So that was CLB. Then even when the old law was there, they removed the CLB and bought what was known as the National Company Law Tribunal, which is similar to your Income Tax Appellate Tribunal. See, within the framework of the Income Tax Act, you have the appellate CATs, CAT appeals, appellate CATs. Once you are not happy with the order of the income tax officer, what do you do? ACIT, DCIT, additional. Immediately you file an appeal to the CAT appeals, right? Now, once the CAT appeals order is against you, what do? You go next on appeal to the Income Tax Appellate Tribunal. Now, up to the Income Tax Appellate Tribunal, it is within the purview of the Ministry of Finance, CBDT. The idea is simple. Where the issue can be resolved at that level, why disturb the court? So, these are called quasi-judicial body. The National Company Law Tribunal is also such a body. Within the framework of the Companies Act, wherever there is a need for judicial review, where they feel the executive may be biased. I mean, see, these are registrar of company, regional director, they are all human beings. There could be biased. Therefore, a check and balance on them, there is somebody called the NCLT, the National Company Law Tribunal. It's called a bench. 3 people will be sitting in that bench. There will be one Supreme Court, retired High Court judge, a chartered accountant or a company secretary with a lot of experience. will be a technical member, then there will be a judicial member, chairperson, 3 people will be there, and then they will sit and hear the cases. So any appeal against the orders of the regional director and all will be filed before the National Company Law Tribunal. So the tribunal is like a court, but not a court. I hope I have given this explanation because we are going to use the word tribunal. And nice to know that Kerala also has now got 2 ROCs. Obviously, because Cochin has a lot of density. See, Kochi is the real capital of Kerala, if I may say so, commercial capital of Kerala, if I may say so. Trivandrum, of course, is the old historical capital, but Kochi is the commercial capital. Okay, so, or Ernakulam, as we call it, is the commercial capital of Kerala. So, rightly so, they have 2. So, it's not about size; it's about density. So that way, these southern states seem to have more density than north, other than Maharashtra. Yeah, I think NCR has a separate ROC. The National Corporate Capital Region, Delhi NCR has its own. Mumbai definitely has. My guru, Professor N.R. Sridharan, who is no more, late NRS, was the Registrar of Mumbai, sitting in Mumbai, Registrar. He was the Registrar for Mumbai. Okay. Registrar will be changed anytime, 3 years. It's like a government job, yeah. He'll be there, whatever the regional, see, he is the lowest rung in the hierarchy. So he may not be he will get promotion and become the additional director. He will move up deputy director, or he'll be assistant director. Sorry. So he'll become regional director somewhere else. So like that. Okay. Depends. See, the government officers hold office at the will and pleasure of the President of India. Means they are employed. Yeah. They are not employed by the ministers. They are in India, they are employed. Just like in England, the government officers are employed by the Queen. Okay, here in India, the government officers are appointed by the President of India. His appointment comes from the President. No minister can come and talk to him because he is appointed by the President. So minister knows in some movies you will see, I will remove you from office. Nothing can be done. It has to come from the President of India. Okay. So all registrars do the same work. They monitor the Companies Act. They see that companies are correctly functioning. If some company is not functioning, they will remove the name from the register. Standard work they will keep doing, all of them. Yeah, tribunal is like a court, but not a court. It is called quasi-judicial body. Quasi-judicial. Quasi means like, but not like quasi-contracts. It is not a contract, but like a contract. Like that, this is not a court, but like a court. It has some of the powers of the court, but it is not bound by the Civil Procedure Code. Okay. This is the best explanation I can give you. Oh, one in Kochi and one in Ernakulam. Surprising. Kochi and Ernakulam is the next door here. Very surprising. Anyway, very nice to know this. Seriously, I don't know how a registrar is appointed. I think they write the examination and they get selected. It's a government exam, I think. It's like Ministry of Corporate Affairs. I think they write the IAS exam, and one of the ranks, I think it'll be seriously don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I really don't know. Anyway. Chalo, moving on. So now, why I explain this? Because we'll be seeing the word ROC again and again. Okay. Sometimes we'll see RD. Sometimes we'll see tribunal. I want you to know difference. ROC lower level. Above ROC boss is RD. See, every region has a regional director. So 4 states will come together to form one region. As I told you, Pondicherry, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Kerala, Andhra Pradesh, now Telangana, Andhra Pradesh. All of them come together under the southern region. And which has only one RD, southern regional RD. So RD, all these ROCs ka boss is the RD sitting in Chennai. Okay. Now, so we are now going to see change in the registered office. Within the local limits of the same city, town or village, CTV, color TV, you can remember. Within the local limits of the same city, town or village where such office is situated. So, within the same city you are moving from possibly Mulund, you're moving to Vashi or you're moving to Navi Mumbai. Chalo, move. Mumbai, same city, no problem. You simply pass a board resolution. The board can take this decision. After that, what you should do? You have to file a notice to the ROC within 30 days for INC 22. Kadam ho gaya. Simple procedure. Now I want to move outside the local limits of any city, town or village where such office is situated. Now, You're going to move from Mumbai to Pune. Now, the members should know about it. Therefore, the law says, call a general meeting of the company where members will come. And the members who are attending should pass a special resolution. Resolve that the registered office of the company be shifted from, be and is hereby shifted, subject to section blah, blah, whatever, 12, 13, and other applicable provisions of the Companies Act. The registered office of the company be and is hereby shifted or changed from so-and-so address Mumbai to so-and-so address Viman Nagar, Pune, whatever. Okay. So it goes there, right? So then that special resolution, once it is passed, within 30 days, you have to inform the registrar, inform INC 22. That's all. So within Maharashtra, no problem. Within Tamil Nadu, no problem. But be careful. I gave the wrong example. I should have given a better example. I should have given the example like Bengaluru to Mangalore. Because only one ROC. But suppose you are moving from the jurisdiction of one registrar to the jurisdiction of another registrar within the same state. So example I gave wrong. Mumbai to Pune, no. In this example, you are in a state where there is only one ROC. Karnataka. Bengaluru to Mangalore. No problem. Mangalapuram. No issues. Now, coming back to my Mumbai example. You are shifting from Mumbai to Pune or from Chennai to Coimbatore. You are moving from the jurisdiction of one registrar to another registrar within the same state. So this can happen only for 3 states if I may go by Prabhas Jain, because Prabhas Jain is one person on whose knowledge I have a lot of belief now, or rather on whose awareness about websites I have a lot of belief now. Okay. Priyansh, sorry, I should have explained that. NCLT is the lower lump. Suppose you are not happy with the regional director's order. You can go on appeal to the NCLT. Now you are not happy with the order of the NCLT, National Company Law Tribunal. Then you can go on appeal against that to the National Company Law Appellate Tribunal, NCLAT. Above that, you are not happy with the NCLAT, directly Supreme Court only you have to go. Straight away Supreme Court. Okay. Now let us come back to the procedure. So you are shifting your registered office from Mumbai to Pune, one registrar to jurisdiction of another registrar. Then what you should do? You have to go to the regional director. Why? Because you are moving from one guy to another, you have to go to his boss. The ROC ka boss is RD. So you have to make an application to the regional director for confirmation. What the regional director will do? He will take your application and he will send a notice to both the registrars, especially Mumbai registrar. He will tell Mumbai registrar, please verify the record of this company and confirm to me that everything is in order. Company has filed the annual return. There are no deposits due. All deposits are paid. All credit, everything is satisfied. So immediately the ROC will call you for a hearing. He will ask this, that, blah, blah, blah. Verify it. And then he will send a report to the RD. Once the RD gets the report, he will go through it. He will then apply his mind. He's an executive officer, right? He will apply his mind. And then he will communicate the confirmation to the company. Okay. Now, so this should be done within a time-bound period. The RD should give the confirmation within 30 days from the date of receipt of application by the RD. Very, very time-bound. That way the MCA is very clear. See, anyway, this application is to be uploaded. Okay. The RD will then go through it. Quickly, he will ask them to give a report. Then go through it. Within 30 days, he should give the confirmation. Once the confirmation order is received from the RD, that should be again communicated to the ROC. The company should file the confirmation with the ROC. Now, don't ask me why. After all, RD is there. Why he can't communicate to his own guy? No. They want the company to go and tell the ROC, boss, we have got the confirmation from RD, please. Now, what is the registrar's job? To register. So, once the confirmation is received by the company, within 60 days from the date of confirmation, not date of receipt, date of confirmation, they should file a copy with the ROC. Then the ROC will register the same and certify the registration. So he will say, certified that the registered office of the company is shifted. Then within 30 days, he will get the certificate. The new ROC will take over the file and you will thereafter be in Pune. Okay. Once the certificate is issued, it shall be conclusive evidence that all the requirements of this act with respect to change of register office from one ROC to another have been complied with, and the change shall take effect from the date of the certificate. Till such time, your jurisdiction is Mumbai. Once the date of the certificate, it is Pune. Wonderful. So, if you want to change register office within local area, then you have to get approval by passing board. If you want to change outside the local area, then you get approval. Absolutely. Absolutely. This is slide number 82. Now, from one jurisdiction to another jurisdiction, be careful. That's why I asked you. There are 3 states in India. Nice to know. Okay, 3 states which have 2 ROCs. And who is superior to RD? Actually, Delhi mein. Regional director ka boss will be sitting in Delhi. Maybe some director or whatever. Short. Sitting in Delhi. In the Ministry of Corporate Affairs. He'll be under secretary rank. He'll be at a different level. Okay. You can't even see these people. You can only see the ROC and regional director. You can see with your eyes. These people are so magical beings. They'll be sitting in New Delhi. Can't see them. They are the bosses of the regional director. Okay. From one state to another state. Okay. Are you able to see the graded process here? Same city, town or village. From the local limits of one city, town or village to another, but same ROC. Same ROC. Okay. Now from, maybe I will add this point so that you will know the distinction between the two. So that it will be easy to. So this is same ROC. If you want to go from one ROC to another, we saw the procedure. Now, from one state to another state. For example, one of my clients moved from Chennai to Mumbai. From Chennai to Mumbai. That is Tamil Nadu to Maharashtra. So, there what they should do, they have to make an application to the regional director. Which regional director? Mumbai ka, in Western region ka regional director. Okay, because they are going to go there, right? So they'll have to go there. Application to the regional director. Also, before they make that application, they have to pass a special resolution. Why? Because for the first time, you're coming to a situation where the domicile clause is going to change. The clause of the memorandum called situation clause, domicile clause is going to change. For the words Tamil Nadu, we will be substituting the word Maharashtra. So, you have to pass a special resolution for that. Then, application is made to the regional director, giving all the details. Very, very importantly, the company should have filed annual return, financial statement. There should be no deposits overdue, debentures overdue. Everything should be governmental dues, nothing. Only then they will. NOC should be obtained from the government, income tax, GST. Only then, because the state where the current office is there, they may be having some dues, GST and all that. So they won't let him go till all that is paid. Then only he can move. So disposal of application by RD within 60 days from the date of the application. Within 60 days, the RD should dispose. But see what they will do. They will raise a query and in such a way that you will not be able to answer it. Then that 60 days will get extended because they will say within 60 days I cannot dispose because you have not answered the question like that. But by and large, they will do it. One more thing, this job, the work relating to shifting of registered office, etc., generally chartered accountant will not do. I will go to one extent, should not do. Because, see, let's say that you have a client base. How many times your client will want to change from one state to another state? Yeah. So this is better left to company secretaries. You just have a panel, call one of those guys, either all, yeah, it's come karo, go, chalo, do it fast. Tell like that to that guy, they will do it for you. Okay. So don't waste your time on this type of nonsense activities. Rather, our superior chartered accountant brain should be used for more important activities, not filing forms and stuff like that. Okay. So, and following up with the government and all that. Okay. So that's what this guy will do. He'll go to the RD's office and say, there's please, sir, and applications are that company का application, please sir, काम कर दीजिए sir, आप भी कर दीजिए sir. So then he will do it. That's all. So the central government may satisfy itself that the alteration has the consent of the creditors, debenture holders. So sometimes they'll ask for NOC from creditors, IT and all that. So all that you have to provide data. And once it has been done, because actually anybody can object to the shifting of the registered office of the company from one state to another. In fact, the RD will want NOC or information to be given to this. Now, so RD will go there. Earlier, this used to be with the tribunal. The power used to be with the tribunal. Now, once the RD gives the application, the order, the company will file a certificate copy of the order approving the alteration with the ROC of each state. So both Madras ka ROC, Chennai ka ROC, Mumbai ka ROC will get it. That should be filed within 30 days from the date of receipt of certified copy. Then today everything is electronic. You just simply get it. It will come to your email ID. That's all. Then both the ROCs will register, and the ROC of destination state will issue a fresh certificate of incorporation, giving the name of giving the domicile as Maharashtra, or if it's some other state, that state, whatever. This has to be done by the ROC within 30 days. Okay. So this is the procedure. I'm sharing with you the procedure for various kinds of shifting, right? So I hope this has you are clear with this. Okay. Now moving on, we have to, like the other class today also, I will just sort of go on and finish. No break. Any other clause of the memorandum, any other clause, okay? Like for example, objects. Sorry, now we'll talk about object clause. If you want to amend the objects clause, then you have to pass a special resolution, and then you have to file a copy of that special resolution for object clause change, MGT 14. Do you remember? Whenever you pass a special resolution, you have to file within 30 days MGT 14. And you have to make an application to the registrar informing them that there is a change in the object clause. That will be registered, and that change will be certified within a period of 30 days from the date of filing of the special resolution. Once you upload MGT 14, they will ask you, is it for object clause change? Yeah. Then within 30 days, they will have to change. The idea is the ROC will see what is this change in object, what is this company trying to do. If he is satisfied with the reason, then they will certify and give it to you. Okay. Now, this special provision for companies which have raised money from the public through prospectus. See, there is a company which has issued a prospectus. We'll be seeing the provisions relating to prospectus on Saturday. Next Saturday, when I will continue my class, I will start a fresh topic next Saturday called prospectus. At the time, I will tell you in detail how the prospectus is issued, content of the prospectus, misstatement, rules, blah, blah, blah. Right now, what you should understand, if the company wants to raise money from the public, they have to issue a statutory prospectus. Only based on the statutory prospectus, they can collect money from the public. So here is a company which has raised money from the public through prospectus, right? Let us say that they raised 20 crores through prospectus. Now they are sitting on that money. Partly, how did they raise the money? By giving the memorandum, etc. What did that memorandum say? It said, we are going to be engaged in manufacturing cement. We are a cement company. We want to manufacture cement. Right, sir? No problem. We are happy. We like you as a cement company. We evaluated your financials. It looked good. So we are investing. And we have given our money to you. Now the board of directors is taking that money from the public, using that money partly for cement business. Now they want to utilize that business for something which is not connected with cement. So what they do, they want to change their object class. So they are saying we will change our object class. Now we want to include hotel construction, running hotel also. We want to see, why did I give you the money as a public? Because I knew you are a cement company. I trusted you as a cement company. I don't know what is your strength in hotels. Now you want to use this money for hotels and you are saying you are going to change your objects for the purpose of constructing and running hotels. Now, if a company has raised money from the public and some money is still unutilized, then such a company shall not change objects for which they raise the money through prospectus unless a special resolution through postal ballot is passed by the company. Unless a special resolution for this purpose through postal ballot is passed by the company. Now postal ballot word has come. So, see, the rules for postal ballot are elaborate. But in simple terms, what is it? Let us define a special resolution. What is a special resolution? The votes cast in favor by members present and voting, okay, should be not less than 3 times the number of votes cast against, if any. 3 times, no problem. But present and voting. So suppose I have a physical meeting, not everybody can come here. Suppose the company is having promoter group 60%, consisting of 7 people. And remaining, shareholders, about 100 of them. Now, I'm keeping the meeting on Monday morning, exactly 10:30 a.m. Who will come? Everybody is busy in office. So some chamchas I've got, I will create them and I'll make them come. So out of 100, I'll bring 30 people. We are there, 30 plus 7, that is on. All of them will vote in favor. Special resolution passed. But the remaining people, the 70 guys or whatever, they couldn't come. Why? Because it's a physical meeting during office hours. I can't come because my office is there. I have to earn my livelihood. So the law was amended even in 1956 Act itself. They said certain matters can be done only through postal ballot. Means what? 30 days before you have to send the resolution to him along with the self-addressed envelope, stamped envelope. And he will be given the option to tick the resolution and send it back to you through post. All that will be collected by a company secretary who will be the scrutineer. It will not be sent to the company's office. It will go to the scrutineer's office, where he will keep it safely. And at the date of the meeting, this postal ballot also will be opened. And while counting the votes, we will not take only those people who are voting at the meeting. We will also take the postal ballot. So the idea of postal ballot is to give a chance, an opportunity to people who cannot come in person to take part in the decision-making process. So it's a blessing in disguise. Boss, this is the very, very overall view I have given you on postal ballot. No, don't go and poke holes there and ask me this, that and all. Because when I come to management administration, I'll tell you the procedure for this. But the purpose of postal ballot is to enable people who cannot attend in person also to participate in the decision-making process. Yes, with digitalization today, instead of postal ballot, instead of sending it by post, they are also permitting e-voting. You can use a code, password code, and what IPIN or whatever, and then you can go there, log in through that password, and e-voting is now very, very much there. Similar, instead of sending it by post, you can visit the website, matter of 3 seconds, chuck, you can do e-voting and come out for, against. How many shares you have, that will also be recorded because you are going into management and administration. Okay, so all that will be recorded, don't worry, and system will give the result also. But this will be controlled by a scrutineer who will be a company secretary, right? So, coming back to this point, a company which has raised money from the public, that amount remaining unutilized, cannot change its objects unless a special resolution for the change is passed through postal ballot. Okay. Also, the details of that change, the resolution, should be published in the newspapers. 2 newspapers, one in English and one in vernacular, the local language. Okay. So, if it is in Maharashtra, it will be Marathi. Okay. If it is in Kerala, it will be Malayalam. Vernacular language. Okay. One in English and one in vernacular language. Why? Because the local people should know, their language, it should be published. Okay. Which is in circulation in the place where the registered office of the company is situated. See, this section, these type of provisions, they try to think of a geographical limitation for companies' operations. Okay, that is the premise on which the act has been enacted. But today, the unfortunate problem is companies are having a national presence, virtual presence. Therefore, They are saying it is not enough if you put it in the local language and local newspaper. You should also put it in the website of the company, if any. And you should also say why you are making this change, justifying the change. The idea is that this will become public knowledge and everybody will be aware that this company collected money from the public, now changing the objects. Okay, nothing wrong in that. If that special resolution is passed, you can go ahead. But suppose some shareholders are not happy, they are dissenting. They are saying very clearly, we gave the money to a cement company, Baba. We don't want you to go for construction of hotels, blah, blah. Maybe there are only 2 or 3 shareholders, maybe 1% or 2%. So the special resolution is passed. Even then they are dissenting. They voted against and they are saying, let us go, give our money back. Then this section says very clearly that the dissenting shareholders shall be given an opportunity to exit. That is section 1312, I think. Exit. The exit route, okay, should be given according to the regulations specified by SEBI, the Securities and Exchange Board of India. Why? Because a listed company now. Listed companies are governed by SEBI, the Securities and Exchange Board of India. Therefore, see, obviously, they are dissenting shareholder. They should be paid the price of the shares. Maybe together they are holding 5,000 shares. We should pay them now for that. We should buy that share from them now. For that, what is the price to be fixed? Valuation. That will be decided by SEBI. Okay. It's a very nice provision. Do you also see the doctrine of ultra wires being legally supported here? You know, the memorandum of the company gives the objects. This is what the company can do. The shareholders are trusting that memorandum and giving the money. Now you are saying you are going to change the object. Therefore, the law is protecting the investors and says those investors who don't want the new object can take the money and go. Okay. This provision protects the investors who have invested their money based on the original objects. Yeah. See, I was thinking that I will not give you a break. Now suddenly Sumit Kumar is asking for a break. I am reminded of the great Aesop's fable. The father, the son, and the ass. Where, some people say the father should not ride on the donkey because he is a senior person. Some people say son should ride. Some people say poor donkey, both the fellows are riding. So they carried the donkey on the head, donkey on the shoulder. That's what I'm going to do now. Some people, Sumit feels that there's a need for, okay, if a few more people want a break, and if I see the break request in the query pad, I'll give a break. Let there be some unanimity here. Sumit Kumar. Otherwise, Sumit Kumar, quickly go to the bathroom and come back. That's all I can say. Or you ask your mother or somebody to give you a cup of chai where you are sitting and have it. What do you say? After all, think about it. I am talking. You are listening. Anyway, so you want a break. If 1 or 2 more people want a break, I will give. If I see 1 or 2 more requests for a break, I will give. Otherwise, we will go until 8:15 or 8:20 and we'll close. I have to finish this topic today. Yeah? Okay. So, bear up. Okay. Even if you say no need for a break, sir, we'll go until 8:15. Those comments can also come on the query pad. Okay, sir. Other than name, situation, and object class, suppose other provision in the memorandum, like capital, etc. See, again, and other provisions, only 3 more are there. What are they? Capital, liability, and subscription. Liability and subscription cannot be changed. Once you are a company limited by shares, liability is limited by shares. But suppose you want to include guarantee also along with shares, something, or if you are a guarantee company, you want to include shares, you can make. Subscription clause cannot be amended. Capital clause, definitely. When you want to increase the capital, reduce the capital. When we come to share capital topic, I will talk to you about alteration of share capital. Whatever it is, if it involves authorized capital by increase, reduction, whatever, you have to alter the memorandum. If the authorized capital is to be increased, cancelled, reduced, or cancelled, shares are to be cancelled, subdivided, consolidated, whatever you want to do, that requires a special resolution. Okay. and you have to get the approval of the central government. If the alteration in the name involves change in the name of the company, then if the approval of central government, if the alteration involves any change in the name of the company, we already saw that. Okay. So for change in the name, change in the situation clause, object clause, we saw the provisions. Other than that, capital and liability, if you want to change, pass a special resolution, right? Then the registrar shall register the alteration of the memorandum and he will certify it within 30 days of date of filing of that MGT 14, the special resolution, MGT 14. Okay. No alteration made under this section shall have any effect until it has been registered in accordance with the provisions of this section. It is not enough if you simply pass a special resolution and run away. You have to file MGT 14 within 30 days. That should be certified by the registrar. And once that certification is done, then, so within 30 days you file MGT 14. Within 30 days from the date of filing of the MGT 14, it should be certified by the registrar. Okay. Got it? We already saw this. No, a company with limited by guarantee cannot have any participation in the divisible profits of the company otherwise than as a member. So any such provision shall be void. Alteration of memorandum to that effect is also void. Okay. Alteration of articles requires a special resolution and is subject to the provisions of this act and conditions in the memorandum, if any. Articles are subservient to the memorandum and the act. Okay. Now, any alteration in the articles will require no break is winning. No break is winning. So I'm seeing majority is no break. So Sumit Kumarji, what to do? Democratically, we are moving. Thank you, my dear friends. Don't worry. Sumitji, come on, have a cup of chai. Pick up. Be with us. You have entered the CA course. There's nothing when compared to what we have all suffered in those days. Okay. We used to attend physical lectures 3 hours, 4 hours continuously. Faculty will teach. I have taught and students have attended 6 hours class and all with no break. Okay. That is the love of learning of the CA student. Alteration of the articles of association of company request. Now, alteration of any other clause is not a problem. But suppose the alteration has the effect of converting a private company into a public company or a public company into a private company. How it will happen? A private company is one which by its articles limits the number of its members, restricts the right of transfer of shares, prohibits any invitation to the public. Correct? So if that clause is to be added or removed, then suppose that clause is added, public company will become private company. Suppose that clause is removed, private company will become public company. Correct? So when that type of an alteration is proposed, you have to be careful. Section 14 says, where a private company alters its articles in such a manner that they no longer include the restrictions and limitations. What I told you now, limits the number of members, restricts the right and prohibits. Then to be included in the articles of private company under this act, a company shall, as from the date of such alteration, cease to be a private company. That's all. Simple. Once you remove that clause, you will become a public company. You know, conversion of a private company to public company, they are not bothered. They are saying you remove that clause, immediately you will become a public company. Why? Because slightly the law relating to public company is slightly more restrictive than private car law. Therefore, they are saying, hey, you want to become, come under a more restrictive rule? Come, chalo. Simply remove that clause, become a public company, come, we will take care of you. We know how to take care of you. Usually, which company will do this, you know? A company which wants to go public, wants to go for an IPO. First thing they will do is to alter the articles so as to change. Of course, you should also pass a special resolution for change of name. Why? Because they want to remove the word private. But you don't have to get the approval of ROC. It is enough if you pass a special resolution for changing the name by merely removing the name private from the name of the company. And you have to amend the articles so as to remove this clause. That's all. From that day, of the date of alteration, you will cease to be a private company. But on the other hand, suppose a public company wants to add these restriction limitation clause. No, that will not be valid unless it is approved by an order of the central government on an application made to it. Okay, that we'll see in section 18 very shortly, right? Once there is an alteration of articles, it has to be filed with the registrar within 15 days. Okay, and of course, a special resolution you have to file MGT 14 also. Okay, once the alteration of articles is made, it will be as if it was originally contained in the articles. Some of this is very simple. There's no need for us to waste our time. Every alteration made in the memorandum or articles of a company shall be noted in every copy of memorandum or articles. Once that change has happened, fresh memorandum article should be printed. Okay. If any default is made in complying with the stated provisions, the company and every officer who is in default shall be liable to a penalty of 1,000 rupees for every copy of the memorandum or articles issued without such alteration, right? Section 17 is a very simple section. It says, if there is a request by a member to give a copy of the memorandum or articles, then, or any of the following documents, it should be given within 7 days of the request on the payment of fees. Now, somebody has asked the question how to, see the MOA and IOA. Na? You go to the mca.gov.in, there will be something for inspection. There you go and give the name of the company or SIN, then you'll go to the company's record. There you can download the MOA and AOA also. You have to pay a fee, but you can download it straight away. Okay. Assistant registrar, as the name implies, is an assistant to the registrar. He is not a full registrar, he is one step below the registrar. So he'll be reporting to the registrar. Deputy registrars are there, assistant registrar. These are all promotional. See, man joins as assistant registrar, then deputy registrar, then additional registrar, then registrar. Promotion. Right. So the word registrar is common. All these are included in that. Yeah, I'm sure Telangana and Andhra Pradesh have one each. Andhra Pradesh and Telangana will have one each, separate. They won't have one single man. They should have one. I'm sure Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Hyderabad ka ROC will be Telangana. I'm sure Vijayawada will have one more for Andhra Pradesh. Okay. I don't think it's free of cost. You have to pay some fees for it. Check out. Okay. So whenever a member is requesting any copies of the following documents, within 7 days of the request, it should be given. It should be sent. Memorandum, articles, every agreement and every resolution referred to in section 117, that is pertaining to MGT 14. Okay. If and in so far they have not been embodied in the memorandum or articles. Whenever there's an important resolution being passed, it has to be, if he wants a copy, you have to give it to the member within 7 days. In case there is a default in providing this data to the member, there is a penalty for the company and every officer who is in default, 1,000 rupees for each day or up to 1 lakh. Okay. See, so one thing is there, na. The Ministry of Corporate Affairs is making a lot of money because there's so many defaults. And if there is any major default, you have to pay a fine. Imprisonment is also there in many cases, all that sort of thing. Then they have something called compounding. We'll come later. And finally, you will learn that. Okay. Consciously, I have changed the order of the topics. In the institute material, maybe 10A would have come after 10. But I am pushing it here because logically it comes after incorporation. So we saw incorporation, we saw MOA, AOA, we saw alteration of these MOA, AOA, etc. And then we have gone to commencement of business. See, when a company is incorporated, it cannot immediately start using the bank balance or exercising borrowing power. Okay. A company incorporated after the commencement of the company's amendment ordinance 2019. That is, it later on became part of the law. So from 2019 onwards, even a private company or a public company cannot commence the business, or they cannot, operate the bank account or borrow money unless a declaration is filed by a director within a period of 180 days of date of incorporation of the company with the registrar that every subscriber to the memorandum has paid the value of the shares agreed to be taken by him on the date of making of such declaration. So within 180 days, the money should be brought in, has to be as paid. Which is why whenever I incorporate a company, I see to it that they open the bank account, the subscribers will bring in the money and that copy of that bank statement, and then this declaration will be filed by that. Only then this commencement can happen. Similarly, the registrar should ensure that the registered office, the company should ensure that the INC 22 has been filed, Form INC 22 should be filed for the registered office of the company within 30 days. Right? Only then you can see what happens. The minute you incorporate the company, you can go and open a bank account. You can even deposit money. But once you issue a check, the bank will say, sorry, sir, please provide commencement of business. Otherwise, you cannot operate the bank account. You cannot borrow money and all. See, the concept of commencement of business is a totally different concept. Today, it has lost its relevance in my humble view. In those days, when I say in those days, in pre-independence India, in England, companies were formed by promoters who already had a project going. They were running it. And the company was then formed for immediately collecting the money from the public and so that he can start his journey. See, for example, in those days, many of the joint stock companies were trading companies, like the English East India Company and all. So they needed money to buy. See, the whole point was they will take money from the shareholders, they will buy the goods for trading, put it in the ship, and the ship will leave. Okay? So that it will go down on the high seas, go to the East Indies or West Indies, trade, come back. So he needed money. Therefore, what he did was, later on when we come to prospectus, I'll tell you more about this. The promoter simply floated a prospectus, collected money, company was incorporated, prospectus was issued, money was collected, and then the project starts. Which is why they are saying, no, wait. I need to know whether you have got enough money for starting your business. That minimum subscription and all was there in those days. Today, this is more like a control mechanism by which they are saying 180 days of the incorporation date, the money should be brought in by the owners, the subscribers. So if each man is said, I will take 1,000 shares, 5,000 shares, 5,000 into 10 rupees each, 50,000, please deposit it. And also inform the registrar about the registered office. Once you do this, only then you can commence business. This is called commencement of business. Suppose this is not done, then the company is liable for a penalty of 50,000 rupees. Every officer in default, 1,000 rupees up to 1 lakh. Do you notice one thing? Many of these penalties are similar. Same 1,000 up to 1 lakh. What you can do now, you can create your own chart, an Excel chart. Just put the section number. What is the nature of the penalty? Then once you see many of these are clustering around same concept, you can easily remember. You can think, okay, all these sections, 1,000, 1 lakh. This type of thoughts will come only when you prepare the chart. If you take a book, and you keep mugging from the book, they'll be in alag pages. So you will not keep track. But once you put all the penalties in one Excel sheet, you will have a better idea. You will remember better. 1. 2, that will also facilitate quick last minute revision 1 or 2 days before the exam. Quickly you can go through penalties. Everything will be in one shot. I used to do things like this when I was a student. Like a fool, I used to not rely on teachers and notes and stuff like that. I used to prepare my own charts, my own support material, in addition to what my teachers taught me. I'm sure many of you also do that. I have a lot of brilliant students, Antanjali, Prabhas. I'm sure you all do this type of things. I'm sure you do it. Okay. Suppose you have not filed the declaration within a period of 180 days. In addition to penalty, the registrar should have reasonable cause to believe that the company is not carrying on any business or operation. Do you remember? He also had the power to inspect your registered office. So you didn't file the declaration within 180 days. You didn't inform him about the registered office within 30 days. Simply incorporate the company sitting. Means what? The company is not doing anything. The registrar has reasonable cause to believe that the company is not carrying on any business operations. Friends, this chartered accountant, Justice Srikanth alone has incorporated more than 1,800 companies. Srikanth alone has incorporated more than 1,800 companies. Means India is having bigger chartered accountants than me. I'm sure they are all incorporated. All these companies will not function. The promoter will have some idea when some engineering fellow will lose a job. Day he loses a job, he will become a startup entrepreneur. Immediately he will come to me, Mr. Srikanth, please incorporate a company, blah, blah. Then only by email he will talk and only Zoom meeting, everything. I'll say, whatever it is, send 50,000 rupees to my bank account, I'll incorporate company. So immediately transfer money, net will be transferred. We will incorporate the company and give it to him. After that, what he will do? Nothing. Because fellow will get a job in some other IT company, he will go away. Then what will happen to this company? Nothing. 180 days later, nothing. We will remind him, but no, I'm sorry, I'm now busy, I can't take your call. Blah. What can I do after that? So then the registrar will send a notice. If not apply, no reply, then without prejudice to the penal provisions. That means what? In addition to the penalty provision. Okay? He can also levy a penalty. In addition to that, he will initiate action for the removal of the name of the company from the register. So within 180 days, if nothing is sent, then you can remember this. For MCQ purposes, they might ask you the 180 days, 30 days, and all that. Try to remember that. That's why I put it in capital also. Okay. Now we come to section 18, which is very important, but a question is asked by Archie Gupta. Are these companies trustworthy? You can say trustable is not an English word. Trustworthy. Or can we trust these companies? See, in my example, what is not trustworthy about this? Fellow had a thought of becoming the next Bill Gates, but it's not going to happen. He is destined to be an employee for his life. So he is again joined an IT company. More pitying him, he's not a fraud. That's it. But some companies are formed for the purpose of defrauding. Those companies will correctly file all the forms. See, they will do the wrong thing rightly. Okay, all malfeasance fellows. They will correctly file their form, etc. and they will see to it that. But their intention is to cheat. Such companies are not, they are not, they will not be trustworthy. In fact, I was today in one conference where in one stall, they gave me a publicity material for some bitcoins, Beldas Bitcoins Private Limited. If you invest in our coins, you can make money like that. That is a fraud, straight fraud. Okay, but as of now, there is no action against them. God only knows when that scam is going to burst. Today, such frauds, but they are also incorporating companies and all that. Bitcoin companies. You have to be very careful. They are fraud. See, Poojaji, when I told this example of, what did I say? In those days, before independence, England, at that time it was possible. Today, no. If you want to collect money from the public, it is very difficult. First of all, you should show 5 years profit track record, 5 years dividend track record. You should bring in 20% capital, and valuation should be done. Only then SEBI will sort of even consider your application. So, newly incorporated company cannot go and get money from the public in India today. I was just talking about in those days, in England. If you read a book called Nicholas Nickleby, you will find this. They will have one meeting of a company will be held immediately on incorporation to discuss what the promoter has done and things like that. Later on, when we come to prospectus, I'll tell you. But in India, currently, no. Company cannot issue shares and collect money even before starting operation. No. Okay. See, you definitely, from the public, you cannot collect. But from friends and relatives, yes, you can. Why not? Collect the money. They give, take it. But from public, no. Initial public offering, no. Very difficult. Multinational firm, peer-reviewed firm only should audit your accounts. Your account should be clean. Profit should be there. Profit track record. All that they are asking. Only then they will permit you to go for public issue. You will read more about it when you come to final examination and you study the topic on SEBI guidelines. At that time, you will read this. Okay. But if you are not going to the public, only from friends and relatives or unknown or known people, up to 200, when we come to prospectus, I will tell you more about it. When we come to prospectus, I will tell you more about it. Okay. That is possible to collect from a close group of people. But you can't go to the public with an advertisement. Yeah. So now we have come to conversion. Means conversion of any class of company into another class. So a company of any class may convert itself as company of other class by altering its memorandum and articles. Means private company can convert into public, public to private. A Section 8 company can convert to a normal private, normal public. But be careful, OPC cannot become Section 8. One-person company cannot become Section 8. Other than Section 8, OPC can become private, private can become OPC. We saw all that in OPC. All this conversion possible. So Section 18 governs that where the conversion is required to be done under this section, the registrar shall, on an application made by the company, after satisfying himself that the provisions of this chapter applicable for registration of companies have been complied with, he will close the former registration and issue a certificate of incorporation in the same manner as its first registration. So if a private limited is becoming OPC, he will close the private limited registration former and issue a fresh certificate of incorporation as a private company. Similarly, reverse. Again and again, OPC cannot become Section 8, Section 8 cannot become OPC. Okay, sir? The registration of a company under this section shall not affect any debts, liabilities, obligations, or contracts incurred or entered into by or on behalf of the company before conversion. So, if a private limited company converts itself into a public company, all the debts, liabilities, etc. will continue. Identity is not changed. Only the nature of the company from private to public it has gone. Entityship is the same. So, any debt, obligation, contract, etc., which is due by the private company may be enforced on the public company as if registration had not been done. Conversion, the idea of conversion is not to escape from obligation. All the obligation will continue. Okay. In fact, in the Companies Act, you have one more type of conversion. Okay. Chapter 10 conversion, Chapter 22 conversion, where what happens is, it's not in your syllabus. In fact, it's not in your syllabus at all. It's not in the CA syllabus letter, but it's something that I do regularly. I encourage non-corporate entities to convert themselves under the Companies Act into a private limited company. It's a nice chapter. And many companies have done that. Possibly, I specialize in conversions. And not that conversion of partnerships into companies. Okay. I have taken many companies through the process of conversion. I have advised them and handheld them and made them convert. There's a lot of issues are there. I don't think I'm boring you, but it's very important for me. I earned a lot of money that way. In that one consulting activity, I earned a lot of money. Okay. But that's not in your syllabus. So you won't study for the exam. But when you're practicing, at that time you cannot say, sir, it is not in the institute materials, sir, like that you cannot say. You should read it. That is what I'm saying. Have the ability to read original material and understand. Okay. Don't get angry with me for telling like this. This is a nice and interesting section. It comes in this chapter, though it has, to my knowledge, nothing to do with incorporation, right? But it comes in this chapter, and that is why they are saying incorporation of companies and matters incidental to it. Anything they will put here, which is, I seriously don't say what is there in the incorporation, but anyway, chalo. See, idea is simple. I'm sure you are all studied company accounts and all that, so you're all familiar with holding and subsidiary. Maybe you've studied the definition of holding company and subsidiary company. So you know that holding company may be a de jure or a de facto subsidiary or de jure subsidiary. That means what? The holding company may hold 51% of the shares, or they may be able to control the composition of the board of directors of the subsidiary in any manner. Right, sir? Whatever it is. Now, holding company can hold shares in the subsidiary. Right? Now, subsidiary cannot hold share in the holding company. Holding company obviously will hold shares in the subsidiary de jure, but subsidiary company shall not hold shares in the holding company. That means no holding company shall allot or transfer its shares to any of its subsidiary companies. And any such allotment or transfer of shares of a company to its subsidiary company shall be void. So this is called cross-holding. Means holding company, holding subsidiary holding in holding company. Chain holding is different. A Limited is the holding company of B Limited. A is holding shares in B. B Limited is the holding company of C Limited. B is holding shares in C. This is called chain holding. Consolidation is very complicated. First you have to consolidate C into B, then B into A. Final consolidation. But B cannot hold, see, A is already holding shares in B now. Now B cannot hold shares in A. That's called cross-holding. Cannot happen. Okay? It cannot happen. In fact, I know Ayush Agarwal will get angry with me, but still, when I was preparing for my CA final, one of the topics in the examination was this holding company, subsidiary company. See, in spite of prohibition on cross-holding, it was there in section 42 even then. In spite of that, our institute syllabus, they used to have cross-holding also for final company accounts paper. Boss, minimum holding, normal holding subsidiary itself, this poor brain could not understand. Then chain holding. C, B, I somehow manage. I'm not as intelligent as some of you, Mantanjali and all. I'm an ordinary fellow. I could not understand. Then they came to one, Mr. Rangarao was the professor, faculty in the institute. So I attended his class. Late lamented. He's a great teacher. No more now in there. He started teaching cross-holding. I fainted. I came running away from the class. I never studied holding companies. I left it in choice. Seriously. At that time, you could leave it in choice. I was thorough with other topics. I was thorough with amalgamation accounting, insolvency accounting, final accounts, everything I was thorough. But I got 65 in accountancy, but I left this in choice. On the day of the examination, I was going to go for the exam now. In the morning, 8:30. I like to go 1 hour early. So I was kickstarting my motorbike for going to the thing. My father is a chartered accountant also, practicing. He was sitting in the portico of the house, reading the newspaper, drinking coffee, filter coffee. He saw me. What is it? Today exam? Yes, sir. Today exam. What exam? Today accountancy exam, sir. First exam, sir. Okay, all the best. Have you studied everything? He said, sir, Hanji sir, I studied everything, sir. Have you studied everything? Have you studied holding company, subsidiary company? I got frightened. Hey, how this man knows exactly what I have not studied? He said, no, sir, I have not studied. Oh, that is good because even I have not studied, my father told me. He also left in choice. Sorry, this is meant as a joke. If you are a very serious person like Ayush Agarwal, always very serious, then sorry. But sometimes, you should also have sense of humor. A chartered accountant, in my humble view, should not be too serious. Occasionally, you should have a sense of humor. Otherwise, with our boring work, if you don't have a sense of humor, imagine your life, pathetic life, already boring work. With that, no sense of humor. You do please the subject, don't talk anything else. Okay, no problem. So, coming back to the point. No holding company shall allot or transfer its shares to any of its subsidiary companies. Means what? Holding company can hold shares in subsidiary. Subsidiary cannot hold shares in holding company. No cross-holding. Exception. This is very important. See, in law, it is important to know the rule. But it is more important to know the exception. Two exceptions are there. One, the subsidiary company is holding shares in the holding company, not in its own name, but as legal representative of a deceased member of the holding company. How it happened, don't ask me. But one member of the holding company died. That fellow's legal representative is this subsidiary company. As a legal representative is holding, or as a trustee. Okay, simple. It is not holding in its own name. It is holding as a representative, legal representative or trustee. Those shares are exempted. Those shares are exempted. Similarly, this is very, very important. Where the subsidiary company is a shareholder even before it became a subsidiary company of the holding company. So these shares were not allotted or received by the subsidiary, purchased by the subsidiary after becoming subsidiary. They were shares held by the subsidiary before it became a subsidiary. I think this exception is very important from exam point of view. If I am the paper setter, what I will do? I'll give a nice problem. I'll tell holding company, subsidiary company. The dates are very, very important. The date on which the shares were acquired by the subsidiary company become very, very important. If it is before the subsidiary became a subsidiary, then that cross-holding is allowed. Try to remember this exception, because beautifully one problem can be set in this, where they'll give you a date of acquisition of the share which is before the holding company acquired 51% stake and this fellow became subsidiary. If so, the shares held by the subsidiary before it became a subsidiary will continue to be held. So cross-holding is normally not allowed. Two important exemptions are there. Legal representative and trustee, if you don't understand, chhod do yaar. Means by some legal position, this company has become a representative of that shareholder. And the shares are not held in its own name, but as representative. That also is allowed. Okay. The reference in this section to the shares of a holding company, which is a company limited by guarantee or an unlimited company not having a share capital, shall be construed as reference to the interest of its members. So, for a company limited by guarantee and unlimited company without shares, there will be no share capital, no cross-holding. Even then, the subsidiary company cannot have an interest in the holding company. Okay? Any share or interest in the holding company. Now we come to the fag end of our topic, which is documents, filing of documents, etc. It's a very procedural thing. We can quickly run through it. Not a problem. The word document has been defined in the definition section. You already saw it. I'm just reiterating. It includes summons, notice, requisition, order, declaration, form, anything. Okay, whether issued, sent, or kept in pursuance of this act or under any other law for the time being in force or otherwise. Maintained on paper or in electronic form. For example, books of account required to be maintained under this law. In electronic form also you can do. It is a document. Anything which is required or to be kept or issued or sent or kept in pursuance of this act, members register document. Okay, everything is a document. Now, section 20 speaks about service of documents. Means what? Service means sending it or ensuring that the document reaches the company. Document here includes notice, summons, correct? So a document may be served on a company or an officer thereof by sending it to the company or the officer at the registered office of the company by registered post, speed post, or courier, or leaving it at its registered office, or means of such electronic or other mode as may be prescribed. Today, all communication from the ministry are made through electronic mode. The email address given by you at the time of incorporation, to that email ID, they will send the mail, no other way. No postage, nothing. No registered post, no courier. You will get an email to that email ID, which is why we keep on telling the promoters, sir, whatever email ID you give, please let it be active, because any communication will come only to that email ID. Okay. However, where securities are held with a depository, records of the beneficial ownership may be served by such depository on the company, by means of electronic or other mode. Means the depository can communicate to the member by electronic mode, right? So today, no postal communication is there, only electronic mode, right? Now, this is registrar serving on the company or any other person serving on the company. How do we serve on the registrar? Okay. It should be done in electronic mode or on any member by sending it to him by post, registered post, courier, provided the person or agency which delivers the documents provides proof of its delivery. So you can send it to the member by post, to his office address, or in electronic or other mode. Many listed companies, they clearly say, once you give your email ID to the depository, see, at the time of opening the depository account with the depository, you will give an email address. Now, that address only you will get communication. So your email address also you have to be very careful. All communications will come only to that address, okay, from the company. Today, everything is email. What is a depository? You're all eager to ask me, na? Don't ask now. When we come to share capital, dematerialization of shares, I will teach you. Now, a member may request delivery of document through a particular mode for which he shall pay such fees as may be determined by the company in its annual general meeting. Suppose a member says, I want only by post, then only by post to him, but he has to deposit the postal charges, provided the company so decides. Okay. This particular subsection shall apply to Nidhi company subject to the modification that in the case of a Nidhi company, the document may be served only on members who hold shares of more than ₹1,000 face value or 1% of the total paid up capital. Other shareholders, it will be affixed, it will be served by newspaper and it will be affixed on the notice board of the company. So you just have to give you an advertisement. Because Nidhi company may be having a lot of shareholders. To everybody, I cannot keep sending by post. So only those guys who are holding more than 1,000 in face value or 1% I will serve. The rest of them, I will publish an advertisement in the newspaper and affix in the notice board. Okay. A document requiring authentication by a company means signing of a company. On behalf of the company, it can be signed by any key managerial personnel, director, MD, company secretary, anybody can sign. Any KMP can sign, CFO. An officer or employee of the company duly authorized by the board in this behalf. Any other officer. For example, the factory manager will also be known as occupier. Once the board passes a resolution appointing him as the factory manager occupier, on behalf of the company, he can sign. Okay. This just idea is to give clarity. These are all clarificatory provisions. They are nothing great about them. No need to get worried. A bill of exchange, hundi or promissory note shall be deemed to have been made, accepted, drawn or endorsed, etc. in the name or on behalf of the company by any person acting under its authority, express or implied. For example, managing director or a whole-time director has the implied authority to sign a promissory note. Because he is a full-time director, a whole-time director, executive director, they can. It is implied. Or certain people may be given specific authority through resolution. They are express. Okay. So they have to send. Remember, do you remember? Hundi, promissory note, bill of exchange should have the name of the company. If the name of the company is not mentioned, then company is not liable. A deed signed by such an attorney means by such a representative or agent on behalf of the company and under his seal shall bind the company. So, for example, the MD can sign. The MD will become the power of attorney on behalf of the company. And that's it. For so-and-so limited, MD, binding. If the name of the company for and on behalf of the company is mentioned, binding. Now, bills of exchange, etc. have to be executed like this. Where the companies are having a common seal, where they have a common seal, then the company should authorize any person as an attorney under its common seal, and that person will sign, whether it's in India or outside India. If the company does not have a common seal, then the authorization should be made by two directors. Where the company has a secretary, company secretary. Then a director plus company secretary. Two directors, or where the company has a company secretary, director plus company secretary. They will pass a board resolution authorizing the person to sign. Okay, where the company does not have a common seal. Where it has a common seal, then the company can authorize any person as attorney under its common seal. Okay, that affixation of the common seal should be witnessed by 2 directors at the board meeting. So, with this, we have come to an end of this chapter. These are all mostly procedural sections. I don't really see them as very important. Now, this PowerPoint presentation, though I will upload it into the portal. So, inshallah, you should be able to get it tonight or tomorrow morning, whatever. Immediately, I'm sure you'll be able to get it. I'll do it now. I'll do it. But the point, this PowerPoint will come to you. Also, tomorrow, what I will do, I will be uploading some 10 or 11 questions, multiple choice questions and a couple of theory type questions for your private and personal enjoyment over the next week on this topic. So just work out. Then maybe later on maybe Monday, I will also upload the answers. Tomorrow morning, I'll upload the questions. Monday, I will upload the answers. With the answers, I'll upload it. Definitely, you may be having some disputes on the answer. You would say right, wrong. It may be wrong also. I'm always subject to correction. So we will discuss that. Maybe in the course of my next 3 lectures, I will create some 15 minutes time when I will talk about the answers to those questions. If you ask any doubt, I will answer it. Okay. Maybe we will reserve it for the beginning or end of the class. Beginning, some people will get angry as usual. Please start the class, sir, like that. So we'll have it at the end of the class. Just raise the question and I will answer it. If the answer is clear, chhod do yaar. If the answer is not clear, you have a different view, definitely we will discuss it. So beautiful. We have, I think somebody had that doubt, whether you will complete this topic in sessions. To my knowledge, I have covered almost all the topics. Let us see if you have any questions on the topic. If you have, I will answer it and then I will close for the day. Resolution copies are also very much available. You can download. All these MGT 14s are all public documents. That is the whole point. Once it is uploaded, it is a public document available for viewing by everybody. Okay. Okay. Yeah, company can be converted into a licensed company, definitely. But you have to comply with Section 8. You have to make an application to the regional director under Section 8. Okay, then you can. Section 8 also you have to comply if you want to become a licensed company. Is there a limit of mandatory amount of shares in subsidiary which is to be held by? Yeah, to become a holding company, you should hold 51% or more. Only then you will become holding company. Or in combination, a company A and its subsidiaries, etc., together hold more than 51%. Also, it's a controlling. Directly, I may hold only 20%. But a couple of my other subsidiaries together may be holding another 40%. So together we hold 60 now. So that is a de facto subsidiary. So to understand, for answer to this question is in the definition of holding and subsidiary. Please go there and reread it. You will understand. So thank you very much for that. Even now that holding subsidiary, when I see, I remember this incident in my life. Nidhi company is not in your syllabus, final syllabus only. It's like a finance company, where a Nidhi company will accept deposits and give loans only to its members. So certain exemptions are given to that Nidhi company in the Companies Act. Okay. So Nidhi company is like a finance company. Yeah, only public notice to shareholders. When we come to management and administration, you will find Nidhi companies are having a lot of exemptions on what is to be done. In fact, it is enough if they put it up in the notice board. The reason is a Nidhi company is not expected to operate at a national level. They are only supposed to operate at a very, very localized way. So therefore, they are not given this type of a thing. Okay. Wonderful. My suggestion, alteration of objects class, alteration of name, situation, objects. Very, very important. Okay. Also that object class alteration by a company which has taken money from the public. That is all very, very important topic. Please be thorough with it. The 3 doctrines are very important. Be thorough with it. Okay. So I'm very happy. Thank you for your patient bearing with me. Maybe from next class onwards, we'll go back to the break thing. We'll have a small 10-minute break in the middle and we will proceed. Okay. Thank you. Wishing you all the very best and wishing you a great weekend ahead. Enjoy yourself. We'll catch up again on the 28th of May when I will come back to you with prospectus. Thank you. Bye. Sir, class over, sir.